Hey everybody. So the New York Times put carbon removal on the cover. That's the feature story with Carbon Run. And the quote says that climate scientists say we must cut pollution and that many believe that some of the excess carbon in the atmosphere must also be pulled out in order to preserve a livable planet. That is a huge step forward from where we were only 3 months ago. 3 months ago, there was an article from the New York Times that said proponents of the technologies are the ones saying that it's required. So this is a giant leap forward. At the same time, we've got this reporting. We've got investors investing about $1 billion into carbon removal. We've got a couple $1 billion of commitments from the world's largest corporations towards buying carbon credits. On the climate science side, there is overwhelming consensus that decarbonization and removals are needed from the climate scientists at the IPCC. And we've got a whole generation of carbon removal innovators that are ready to make massive improvements on carbon removal tech, but they're missing the investment and they're missing the customers to make the technology do what we need it to do. So here's what could happen. If public opinion continues to believe that carbon removal is this fringe topic based on belief, not science, that many scientists believe that this is also needed, investors and buyers are they're gonna keep treating carbon removal as a side bet as well. And without funding, without customers, startups are going to drop out, and we're going to lose the narrow window of opportunity that we have to scale and iterate on carbon removal. And at that point, we're stuck with the worst impacts of climate change. We're stuck with the famine, we're stuck with the drought, with war, and that's ultimately what we'll be left with. So imagine we keep pushing on journalists and carbon removal. It's where climate leaders at the COP29 and onwards conferences are talking about carbon removal as required and taking action on it as part of the solution to reduce emissions and remove carbon. That's where we get hundreds of billions of dollars unlocked that are needed over the next 6 years to get carbon removal scaled to where it needs to be. We get there in 2030. That's where we're set up in 2040 to get into a carbon tax, a tax on pollution, a tax on decarbonization and removal. And that's where we wake up in 2050 to a headline that we've balanced Earth's climate. So all that is possible by having the communications, the journalism around carbon removal moving to overwhelmingly that climate scientists say that decarbonization and removals are needed. So let's make it happen.